Hey guys, Ev Views here. Special video today. We're reviewing Elden Ring. I've been saying this one's coming for I don't know if you've been watching some of my videos. I think I first mentioned my Elden Ring review. Probably before I beat it for the first time, in September maybe. No, it's May. That's the end of May. My fault. Yeah, I was gonna do it. I was gonna beat it and then review it, but then I was like, I didn't see all there was to see, so I had to replay it again. And then life got kind of busy, so it took me a while to finish that. Yeah, but anyway, also I just want to say real quick, I just purchased Doom at Dark Ages, $70 game. I don't ever buy games full price. I think Evil West was the only ever game I purchased, the only ever AAA game I purchased full price, full retail price when it came out. And this is such a sense of joy and whimsy. I've been waiting for this game to come out ever since that first trailer dropped, showing the shield and all that. I've just been so hyped for nothing more in my life. There's nothing I've been more hyped for other than this game, and it's so magical watching it download now. And wow, I can't wait. That review will be coming soon. I'm probably gonna beat this game in a day because I bet I'm gonna get addicted to this game because I love Doom. I don't know if you guys know this. If you've seen any of my every game videos, you know I love Doom. It is my favorite game franchise. Maybe I like Call of Duty Zombies a lot. But yeah, those two are my two favorite games: Zombies and Doom. But anyway, it's been a minute and a half. I'm sorry. Elden Ring. This video's for Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring. Elden Ring. I love that game. Just played it for my second time, like I said. First time, I did a strength build, used Varun's greatsword, kind of sucked at the game. Took me 80 hours, but I did a lot of side content, I did Melania, I did all that good stuff. This game, I did miss Moog, I missed Placidus, I didn't do Ronnie's quest line. There's a lot of things that I missed. I felt like I had to go back and do before I did a proper review on it, and that's what I'm doing now. And I did an int build, yeah, and it was pretty fun. I didn't use any spells my first time, so using spells was really cool. And then next I'm going to do a faith build, and I'll use incantations and all that good stuff. Very excited for that. And also I'm going to do the DLC that run. I'm going to do a faith build, beat the game, do everything there is to do. And then I'm going to play the DLC, and I'm going to review the DLC and do everything there is to do there. Heck yes. That's going to be my computer, though, because I'm scared of spiders, and I have heard that there are spider scorpions in this DLC that look really scary, and I want to get it on my computer so I can get a mod that gets rid of those. Say whatever you want. Now I'm just being honest. That's what I want to do. It's worth the extra $20 or whatever to get a key of Elden Ring. Yeah, and also on PC, my computer's much stronger than my Xbox, so it'll run a lot better, and that'll be a cool experience. Anyway, yeah, did an int build, used what's the first weapon I used? I used the meteor katana. Yeah, I used the meteor katana for a while. Then I switched to not the Moonveil katana, but I switched to the Wing of Estelle. That weapon's awesome. Love that weapon. And I power stanced that with a bandit curved sword. And then I switched over to a brass shield and Ronnie's Dark Moon sword that you get from that quest. And yeah, that's how I beat the game. And I did all the side stuff, most of it, pretty much every side boss except Melania, because I did not want to go through that again. And the dragon, not Placidus Axe, I did the other dragon, it starts with F, like Flume de Sax or some shit like that. Oh, some stuff like that, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, whoever that guy's name is. Yeah, did everything, did all the remembrance bosses, all that good stuff. Awesome. This game, anyway, let's talk about the game now. This game is awesome. The fact that I had to do that much explaining about my build, that just shows, that's my favorite part of the game, is just all the weapons, so many weapon choices, so many builds, so many ways to allocate your points, and there's so many different things that you can make your character in this game. I love that. I love that so much. I'm gonna get into something I don't like about that later on. But let's talk about all the good, all the pros. Yes, my biggest thing I like about this game, the weapons, all the choices, all the items, so much awesome, just overwhelming, large amount of just stuff that you can do, all the combinations. It's awesome. I love that. And I love the leveling up system. I think it's very good. And yeah, awesome. Just all the stuff and builds. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Then next, you got just the combat in general, just really good combat. This is my first Souls game, that's worth mentioning. I forgot to mention that. This is my first ever Souls game, first FromSoft game. And I've been meaning to get to them for a very, very long time. Yeah, and then when Elden Ring came out, I was like, yes, I'm going to play that. But then, apparently it didn't run well on, the Xbox One, because that's all I had at the time. I had my Xbox One S, and apparently it didn't run well. So then I waited till I got this one, And then, yeah, recently I just played it. It's also worth mentioning, I started playing it for my first time last June, and yeah, I've been playing this game like for a whole year, like nonstop kinda, just like on and off, like on the DL. Yeah, so yeah, it's worth mentioning that. This game's awesome. Bosses. Bosses are awesome. We love the bosses. There are some really annoying ones that make me mad. Very, very mad and full of rage. But that is okay, because the majority of the bosses are awesome. I like Godric. I like Moog. I like, Radagon, all those bosses, super duper, Godfrey, I love all those bosses. There's so many good, just like top tier bosses that like, wow, it's just a magical time fighting them, and it's so fun. And I love that. I love the bosses. Just the bosses. I don't even know what there is to like say about the bosses. Like I'm putting my hands up, you can't really tell because that's like out of frame. But I don't know what there is to say about bosses. Like that isn't already said. Just this game. It's a boss game. Like you go when you fight bosses. That's what you do, and the bosses are awesome. That's really all I gotta say. There are some bosses where the attacks are just really like not well done, and like it kind of like is like not fair, or like they'll do some like crazy undodgeable attack that like just one shots you, and like there could be some better balancing. I don't think the game, it's not like it's too hard, it's just like the damage is like allocated wrongly, if that makes sense. Like sometimes the boss will be like charging up this super strong attack and it'll hit me and it'll do like no damage at all. But then other times the boss will be like doing like Beyblade moves and like hitting me a million times, but like it doesn't matter how many times they hit me because just one hit like insta kills me. And I feel like that's kind of like weird, the way that they like the damage that the bosses do sometimes. Like sometimes I feel like there's attacks that do way too little damage for how awesome it looked, and then there's sometimes where the boss just will be like just hitting me like unrelentlessly, and if I mess up once I'm just dead and I just lose, like that kind of sucks. And that's like one of my biggest flaws with this game, is that happens a lot. And also the hitboxes, sometimes I feel like I should not have been hit by that. And one big example of this is all the dragons. They have this attack where they just like breathe fire everywhere, and it just covers the floor, it covers everything. That sounded weird, but and if you touch it for like a second, you're just dead. Your horse is dead. You fall onto it after your horse dies, and then you die. And like the fire, ooh, I hate those attacks. I hate those attacks so much. Ooh, the rage. Like the ice dragon, the borealis dragon. I hate that guy. He just be flying around, breathing his fire everywhere, but it's like ice fire or whatever, and just insta kills you the second you touch it, no matter what. My health, I had like 40 vigor when I fought him. I had Erd Tree Sentinel armor. I had like some crazy good armor, crazy good defense, and he just one-shot me. And yeah, and also even if you do survive, I did put on like a talisman or like a drink or something to like let me tank one hit. And then even after I tank that hit, like it still, like it hits right after. So even if you dodge it once, it'll hit you again right after. It's like, it'll like, oh, I tanked it, and then the second hitbox will get you because it's a giant field of like fire. So it hits you multiple times really fast, and it insta kills you just one of those times. That makes me mad. That makes me full of rage. Don't like that. This game kind of fills me with rage in general. I'm not gonna lie, that's a part of the fun. But this part is not a part of the fun. This is not a cool part of the rage experience. But anyway, so yeah, that's not cool. That's the only complaint I have with bosses, is the balancing kind of sucks sometimes, and the attacks don't do the damage that you'd expect. And then also there's those fire attacks that you just can't dodge and just one-shot you sometimes, which is not cool. Anyway, bosses, awesome. That's all you got. In general, awesome. Pretty awesome. And then, yeah. Then what else? What else? The world, the environment. Ooh, this is an awesome map. This map is so cool. I love this map. You got like Limgrave, just a nice little peaceful area. You got, shut up Instagram. You got Caelid, this red evil area. You got castles. You got like volcano places. You got like the capital area. You got like the snowy areas. You got like the crumbling place. Like, oh wow, you got the whole underground area. This game is just full of such cool, unique areas. That is awesome. I love that. I love a map that is diverse and has all different kinds of things to see. And it's also like, there are some points in this map where it just feels lifeless, like I'm just running around just to run around, and like there isn't really anything there. But that's okay, like as long as it's a little bit. Most of the map, I feel like there is like stuff going on. There's people to interact with sometimes, or there's like bosses, or like there's a tower here that you can go and get loot from, like stuff like that. I feel like the map is pretty well populated. Could be maybe a little bit more. There are some empty areas, but for the most part, pretty well populated map, and very diverse and awesome map. Super cool. Love the free roam aspect of this game. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What else? What else? There's the music. The music in this game is pretty cool. I love the music in this game. It sounds awesome. It sounds like medieval. It sounds cool. You'll be fighting a boss, and it'll be playing this like awesome soundtrack that makes it feel a little bit much cooler. Super cool. The progression in this game. Actually, we'll get to that later. I want to think of a good. What else? What are some other good points of this game? Because yeah, this is combat in general. It's pretty standard. Like attack, dodge, super attack, dodge, parry. Stuff like that. There's not much to like really say about it, but it's just done really well, really smooth, really just well done, and it works and it's not boring. And like I said, with the amount of different builds and stuff that you can do, it keeps it nice and diverse and fluid and awesome throughout the entire game. And that's great. That's beautiful. What else? The content. There's so much content in this game. You got like side quests, quest lines, so much going on here, so much going on there. You got the main quest. The main quest is awesome. The story, I don't understand the story much at all. I tried watching like lore videos. There's just so much going on with the lore that like it's really hard to piece it all together. But yeah, the lore is pretty cool from what my understanding of it. I don't really know much of it, but it's pretty cool from what I know. But yeah, it's a whole different thing to follow if you're into that kind of stuff. Yeah, just the progression and story and just like the amount of content and quests to do is like wow, incredible. What else is there? I'm really thinking. I'm putting my thinking cap on. I think that's about it for all the good stuff. I can't think of anything else to talk about. Just the overall map, awesome. Combat's awesome. Bosses are awesome. Weapons and the variety of stuff you can use, awesome. Just really well done. Really well done. All the bosses, wow. Some crazy bosses in this game. Anyway, let's move on to the bad. The progression. Kind of not the best. Just the way you level up, it's very it leaves it very open to the player, like how you want to level up and how you want to progress, which is great. I like that, but it can make it so you can get really over leveled or under leveled really quickly, and the bosses don't really scale like that much, like make up for it, which is like fine, but like it can get kind of bad and it can feel kind of like you're like way too overpowered or way too underpowered, but that's okay. But the thing I don't like about the progression is the way that upgrading your weapons works. So each weapon that you have, it's either like a somber weapon or a normal weapon. But normal weapons, you can upgrade up to 25 times. That's a lot of times. And then the somber one's up to 10 times, but the somber one's more expensive for each upgrade. But the problem is, you can't reverse this. So you can get a weapon up to like 25 levels, but then you can't but then that weapon is stuck at level 25. And if you want to switch weapons, oh well, you got to do all that over again, collect all those resources, all those runes to get another weapon up to 25. And with the amount of awesome weapons there's in this game, this is such a big flaw in my opinion. I don't like this. This makes me really mad because I love how many weapons, how much variety there is, but you can't respec weapons. Just one simple system of being able to unlevel a weapon, and you don't give the full resources back. Like if it's level 25, don't give every resource that you put into it back, but give half of it back at least. So if you do want to switch, it's at least not that much sunk costs or put into it. You can just get some of it back to invest in a new weapon. I think that would be really good, or just kind of overhaul the entire system into a different way. I don't know. I just don't like the way that leveling up weapons is because there's so many of them, but it really rewards locking into one weapon or one or two weapons, and then that's it. At the beginning you kind of switch around because you don't have resources to get it that high anyway, and you're only really going to be needing level 2, level 3 weapons, which is fine. And at the beginning it's so nice and fluid, you can switch around, try all these new weapons, but then later on when you're actually getting the cool weapons are all the ones later on. But at that point you're going to be needing level 20 weapons, level 8 weapons, depending somber or not somber. You're going to be needing these high power weapons if you want to fight the bosses that you're on, but you either have to use the one that you have or go and grind like crazy to get a new one that is back up to that level, which really kind of sucks. Really kind of sucks. The whole game, my whole first playthrough, 80 hours, I only used 3 weapons, which is kind of sad because there's so many weapons. I used a rune greatsword, I used a colossal greatsword, and low-key might be it. No, I used something before I had that much strength. I used something else. Oh, I used the crystal greatsword or carrion greatsword, something like that. Yeah, I use like 3 or 4 weapons throughout the entire game when there's like 800 weapons or something crazy like that. It's not that high, I don't think, but it's pretty high, pretty crazy amount of weapons, and it only lets you use like a few of them per playthrough. Like what the frick? What gives? I bet there's some mod on computer that could fix that, but that's not gonna make me give a high. Saying that there's a mod to fix the issue isn't gonna make me like be like, oh, it's fine man because you can't see a mod. That's not no, that does not fly. Yeah, don't like that at all. It's really stingy upgrading system. Don't love that. There's one other flaw I feel like I had with this game. What was it? Oh yeah, it doesn't really like tell you at all what to do, which is kind of cool, kind of awesome, but it also is like a little too much. So it's like the first time, for example, you have to get up to the highlands to like the top of the mountain or whatever, and there's a lift to do that. You can take a lift up, like an elevator, giant elevator, but you need an emblem to go up this elevator, and you need the 2 halves of the emblem. And to find these 2 halves just like on your own, it's kind of crazy, without looking anything up, which I don't like looking things up when I'm playing games for the first time, like at all. So I was really hesitant to look it up. And I don't think I did, but it took me like 30 hours of just roaming the map and just trying to find this stupid medallion piece. And then with all the time I spent, I felt kind of over-leveled and overpowered by the time I got up there to the mountains because I spent so much time. And then there is a way to like bypass that apparently. You can just like take some like evil route. But I didn't think that would exist because there's this giant elevator. So I thought if there's this giant elevator, why would they make another route? Like I thought like this is the only way that you can do it. Because there's this giant elevator. But apparently there's never a little path you can take up to skip it, which is like I wish I looked into that more, and found that my first time playing. But it's like, yeah, they did kind of make a fix for it, but at the same time they don't tell you that other alternate way is there. So and like they show you this giant elevator, so it kind of makes the player assume, okay, like you're making like a checklist in your mind, right? Like elevator emblems, and then you don't think like of like other ways to get up, and yeah, they're just like 2 pieces, 2 halves of this emblem scattered across the map, like completely different parts of the map. And you just gotta find them, like one's just like lying in a castle, like in a room, and like I think they're both lying in like different castles, like across the map from each other, just like in like random rooms. And like what? Like come on, like really? Like you're not gonna give me any reason or like not gonna push me towards these castles in any way? Like it kind of sucks. And I feel like they could have tied it into like better. It could tie it in better, so like you're more likely to stumble across it, and yeah, that was just kind of bad design in my opinion. But it's not the biggest deal because, like I said, we live in a time of the internet. If it's really bothering you, just search it up. I don't like searching stuff up, but if it really does bother you, can always just search it up, which is like like whatever, no big deal, no hate for that. Not for me at least. I know some Reddit warriors would be like, oh yeah, you can't use the internet, stuff like that, but like no hate for me. Look things up if that makes the gameplay more fun for you, of course. Yeah, that kind of sucks. And one more thing I have to skin is there's like, so you're gonna make a game, right? But it's supposed to be extremely hard. You're supposed to die like 50 times before you beat each boss. But some bosses, it's the way, so the place that you respawn and then where the boss is, sometimes it's like really far apart, like in between each attempt. You have to go on a whole hiking trip just to attempt this boss again, like, and that like really sucks. Like Renala, Renala's my biggest op. I don't mess with Renala. Like, for example, to get to her, she's like on the top of the castle, right? And then you spawn like way down here, so you have to like jump around. You have to jump like off a bridge onto another bridge. You have to run up the bridge while boulders are falling down and like trying to hit you. Dodge all the boulders, make it through, keep on walking a bit through this like courtyard area, take an elevator up, and then you're there. And then you have to just walk a little bit more. And it, like overall, it's like 2 minutes like in between each boss, which I know doesn't sound like much, but when you die as many times as like you're gonna die it, because this game is hard and like the whole point of a game is like fighting bosses over and over until you can get it down, you can't be doing that, you can't really be like making like that much time spent in between each attempt. And that like bosses that are like that kind of ruin it. Like Placidusax, that's another one that kind of ruined it. It's not like horrible, but it's pretty bad. It's like a minute and a half between each fight, and like that really sucks. Like I don't want to do that. That makes me not want to play the game, maybe I'm just like lazy and like I have a short attention span. Maybe that's just me. But nah, I have friends that have way worse attention span, and I know that they wouldn't like that either. Yeah, like, yeah. But the crazy part about this is that they did make a fix for this. They made these things called like Stake of Americas or something like that, and it makes it so you can just, it's like a respawn anchor pretty much, you know. So if you die, you can choose to spawn at the last spawn point, or you can spawn at this, and they do that on purpose so you can spawn right next to bosses. But they don't do it often. They do it like pretty often, but then they leave so many bosses that would benefit so greatly from it, and they don't put that there. Like, there's so many bosses where if they just put one of those little, like, one of those respawn points right next to, like, the boss, it would be an infinitely better boss. Like I said, Renala, Placidus X, there's quite a few bosses that would be way better if they just put a respawn point closer to the actual boss. And it kind of sucks that they don't, because I know it would only take like a minute to do that. And I bet, like I said, there's a mod that's such a simple fix. I bet there's a mod that fixes it for you that, like, is really simple. Yeah. But anyway, recap. This game, awesome weapons, not very good weapon upgrading system. This game, awesome bosses. Some of them could be a little bit better balanced and could have better hitboxes, especially dragons. Music, awesome. Environment, awesome. Progression, really cool, but you can get lost very easily. Combat's awesome. Freedom is awesome. Yeah, awesome game. But yeah, like I said, it's a few tiny little tweaks, just tiny little things there, and this game could be so much better and so much more quality of life-ish, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, just fix the upgrading system, make it so there's more respawn points, balance some bosses better, and wow, the game could be, like, so much better if just those free changes, and also make it so there's a few little more pushes in the right direction to getting up that lift and, like, getting on the right track. Just a few tiny little pushes. But like I said, the internet, you can just always search stuff up. My hair's a mess. Anyway, yep, that's all. Have an Elden-tastic day. Get this game. This game gets a big 6.5 out of 7. Yeah, 6.5 out of 7. I think that's good. Yeah, 6.7 out of 7. Not a 7 out of 7 game. This is not a perfect game. This is a flawed game. There's some, like, those flaws are kind of big, and, like, they do kind of, like, ruin the experience. If, like, don't want to ruin the experience, but it's just, like, the experience could be so much better if they were fixed, and it was such a simple fix, you know? Also, the multiplayer. The multiplayer could be better. The multiplayer is kind of janky, and I feel like it could have been a little better. Yeah, that's the other thing worth mentioning. Yeah. Okay, that's all. 6.5 game out of 7. Have an Elden-tastic day. Get this game, play this game. Hopefully don't kill yourself playing this game. Yeah, awesome game. Bye-bye.